Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're going to be talking about 5 what I like to call GTA Online features that would translate well into Red Dead Online. So these are things that Rockstar or Take-Two Interactive, whichever one you want to look at, have already implemented into their other game, GTA Online, that would translate decently well into the world of Red Dead Online. Now obviously I'm talking about flying Pegasus horses with dual-mounted Maxim guns. Basically the Oppressor Mark II. No, I'm just kidding. That would be terrible and would literally ruin the game. I can understand why things are a little bit more grounded in this game, and I like it that way. It's what makes me like this game so much. So I don't want to see anything over the top like that. The most exotic, extreme thing I could see is maybe a chuck wagon with a Gatling gun on the back, or maybe even the war wagon, which we've already seen implemented. If we're going to go with any sort of a over-the-top vehicle that's going to cause griefing and problems, then those two are the ones that I could kind of see making sense. Other than that, let's just leave all that over-the-top stuff alone. But there are some features in GTA Online that I think would work really well in this world and would be not only a lot of fun, but finally give some more experienced players, for some of these would give some of the more experienced players something to actually spend their gold or money on, and actually might drive gold sales if they wanted to. Because if they want us to buy more gold, they really need to add something that makes it worth buying gold for or earning gold for. So, you know, they're not going to start making more money until they add some type of content like this. So, I just want to start it off with number 1, which is the one that actually made me think of this video. The first thing that I was thinking of is actually the yachts. So if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto Online, or you did a while back, you'll probably remember the fact that they added mega yachts as something that people could buy. Now obviously I don't think we should have modern mega yachts in this game, but I don't see any reason why we can't have something more period accurate, some sort of a yacht from then, because yachts very much did exist at this time and were very popular among the wealthy, as they probably always will be, just because for some reason big fancy expensive boats seem to be something that rich people like. I can't necessarily empathize because I'm not a big fancy rich person, but in the game I do have a decent amount of money and resources, and I think I would like the ability to buy a yacht. Now the reason I think these would work so well in Red Dead Online is because look how much water there is on this map. I'm not talking about all these little rivers, which to be fair, even moderate sized sailboats could make it up some of these rivers. I'm just talking about the big stuff. So we look at the Lanahetchee River? Lanahetchee? That sounds kind of right. River, this big thing that goes all the way along this side of the map, down around Saint Denis, across all the way through, kind of around Lemoyne, back down, and actually goes all the way through, obviously this is the San Luis River down here, but it's still a big enough river that you could actually bring your yacht all the way down to the tip here, which I believe is supposed to be Mexico. And this could also be an interesting way to introduce a Mexico DLC, which I know a lot of people want. But in any case, I just think that it makes a lot of sense because a lot of this map is actually very close to large bodies of water. So if they wanted to add a mobile, so the camp is designed to be mobile because this map necessitates that. If you want to have the camp be useful, it needs to move around and it needs to be something that can be set up around a lot of points on the map, so it's actually can be close to you at any given time. The yacht makes way more sense than even a camp does, because you could move around on this water pretty dang quick with a steam-powered yacht or something. Even if you went with sails, that would be fine, but a steam-powered yacht would be something that you could move around this very quickly. And you could set it up they could just, obviously make a whole bunch of different sections along the river where it sets up, and then either they could have it dock so you go to it from shore, or there could be a boat that goes on shore that you just go up to, you quickly get into it, and either drive out there manually or it just automatically brings you out to your yacht. Whatever they want to do, that would be an awesome feature. It would add some sort of high-end property that people could purchase, like I said, giving them something to spend their money or gold on. And B, it would be something that's a little bit more fun to bring your posse to, or people that you're trying to, show off your wealth or whatever you've got. It would give you something like that other than your camp or I guess your moonshine shack. I just think it would add a lot of what people are looking for in the game, and it would work really well as a mobile base. Certainly would feel a little bit more up class and high scale than the camp. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually something that I've talked about multiple times and will never stop talking about until it exists, and that's large-scale heists like they have in GTA Online. I've played both of these games basically since their beta. I played Grand Theft Auto Online a lot back in the day, and that was quite some time ago, if any of you remember how long ago it was. It was a while ago. And then obviously I played this one a lot. And from both of them, the first thing I thought, because for Grand Theft Auto, I played GTA 5 before I ever played the online mode, and I've done the same thing for Red Dead. And in the story for both of them, the most fun missions was for Grand Theft Auto, it was the heists, and for Red Dead, it was actually the bank robberies. Now mind you, the bank robberies in Red Dead I think were a lot smaller scale and less fun than they could have been, but they were still probably the most fun missions in the game. So I don't see why we don't have large Grand Theft Auto Online style heists in Red Dead Online. This is something that I definitely think is a no-brainer, and I fully believe that the majority of Red Dead players would agree with me. It's the one thing that we need the most in this game, or one of the things we need the most, because A, they're fun fun missions, they're very replayable. B, you make them difficult and make them multi-stage, and then you give them a large reward to make people play them. It gets more people active in the game, which is one thing that this game definitely needs. I'm riding around on a public world right now. I don't know if you're noticing, but I haven't run into any people yet, and I'm in the largest population hub in the game, which is Saint Denis, which is a decent-sized city. You can tell that there's just not that many people playing, so we're going to need content, and it's got to be exciting, interesting, replayable content, which is why I think large-scale heists are the way to go. As far as targets for these heists, every town has a bank. So every single one of those banks could potentially be a target. You could do different high-end stores. You could add maybe a high-end casino or something like that into Saint Denis, have a casino heist maybe. Or you could use some of the other existing things like Angelo Bronte. He's a super rich mobster guy in Saint Denis. He'd be fun to have a heist for. And then obviously Leviticus Cornwall of Cornwall Kerosene and Tar. His factory could prove for a pretty interesting heist. There's all sorts of things already in the game that I think would play very well into this, and I think it's something that honestly sooner or later Rockstar is going to need to add if they want this game to stay alive. So number 3 is actually probably the one that I've seen requested for most, and it's actually just a personal home or ranch or something like that that the player can actually purchase and own and hopefully customize, upgrade, you know, all that sort of stuff. And again, this would be another great way to get players to spend their money or gold, you know, so it's a way for them to drive gold sales potentially, which I know they're very, very interested in because that's kind of Take-Two Interactive's modus operandi. This would both add a ton of content to the game and make them more money, so it's a win-win. And the ways that I think this would work is either A, they could have us maybe buying something old and decrepit and then having to spend a lot of time, resources, money, do missions and stuff to fix it up. And that a good example of that would be Shady Belle, which is the decrepit old palatial mansion from like the Civil War era that's outside of Saint Denis. It's actually an interesting property that you spend a decent amount of time in the single player story, and I think it would be really cool to own personally. So that's an option. Then there's also a ton of nicer houses right in Saint Denis that I think lots of players would like to be able to purchase. And then the other option, the one that I think I like the most, would be a ranch. And there are actually quite a few ranches scattered around the world, and I think that most of them should be purchasable because they don't really do anything in the story as it is, you know, for online. So I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be purchasable by the player and upgradable, and then you could do different things out of them. If you go the ranch route, I think the obvious option would be having ranch-like roles, maybe some sort of agriculture, or, you know, you could raise cotton or maybe tobacco, or obviously raising cattle would be very fun. And it's something that we've kind of done that in the single player for this story with the sheep rustling mission. So we've kind of done something along those lines, and we've built a ranch before in the prologue of the main story. So, like I said, the personal player home is something that I really think should be added, and I think a lot of people would agree. Some of the things that could be added with it are like a stable for your horses, similar to the garages in Grand Theft Auto Online. So basically you could just display your horses in there, see them, and you could choose from them without having to go to the stable, which I think would be a cool option. Plus you could show off all of your horses at the same time to any of your friends that are playing with you. Then of course, as someone who's big into guns, and especially the weapons in this game, a display wall for your upgraded guns and stuff would be pretty cool. It would be a way for you to select your, you know, other than just the weapon locker at your camp, it'd be a cool interactive way to select what weapons you want to use. Plus, again, a way to show it off to your friends, and probably more of a reason to actually customize and upgrade the appearance of your guns. So again, probably driving more gold sales. So that's number 3 for the things Grand Theft Auto Online has and Red Dead Online should get. So the next thing on this list that I want to talk about is actually something that I know a lot of people want, especially content creators such as myself, and that is private or invite-only lobbies. And now there's a lot of reasons to want this. I know some people want these because they just want to play it by themselves or with their friends. They don't want to be bothered by griefers or other people. But there's a bigger reason to want this, and it's just security and privacy. Because currently in the game, it's actually decently easy for anyone who is willing to risk getting banned in the game to use different cheat menus and things that allow them to actually gain your IP address, and they can either use that for nefarious reasons, or they can just consistently either pull you into their session or kick you out of the session that you're in and just cause general problems for you. And I know that especially for content creators who get recognized, this can be an issue. So that's why I think the private/invite only lobbies would be something that most people could get on board with, because it would just make the game, it would give an option that a lot lot of people really, really want. And again, this is something that Grand Theft Auto Online did, and it worked out great on Grand Theft Auto Online. So like I said, I don't understand why we wouldn't want to do it on Red Dead Online. I know that one was a little bit shorter, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory and speaks for itself. So the final thing I want to talk about is actually more open world events and interactions. Now, what I mean by this is just the fact that most of the stuff that we actually get to do, like most of the content that's been added in Red Dead Online, is actually in private servers and stuff. So we don't have private servers that we can just use, but they actually put us into private sessions to do specific missions or to do telegram missions, main story missions, blood money stuff. It doesn't exist in the open world, and I think that leads to a lack of dynamic events and interaction that would help make the world more lively. A lot of times when you're playing this game, especially if it's at the slower hours of the day, it seems like it's dead because there's literally nobody around. You know, sometimes you'll run into one person in Valentine that's also doing bounty hunting or something like that, and so you'll see him carrying in a body, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of player interaction. I like single player games. I'm a single player gamer primarily, so this may sound strange coming from me, but when I play an online game, I'm usually doing it to interact with other people. So I would actually like for more of the events that happen to actually be integrated into the open world. So if someone's robbing a train or something like that, and I'm like, hey, I could go for robbing a train, I could go help them rob a train. Or if someone's in a big old shootout with someone, like let's say it's a story mission, you got some of the ones with the big shootouts, and I'm riding by, that'd be a cool thing for me to just be able to join, you know, kind of wild card style, shoot some of the bad guys, or I guess maybe take the other side, whatever, you know. I just think it would be more fun, the world would feel more alive, it'd be more active if more of the stuff that you can do in the game happened in the open world. That's the last thing I wanted to talk about today. I know that this list is in no way comprehensive, but I tried to keep everything real grounded, things that I think wouldn't break the lore or the immersion of the game, but things that I just think are huge quality of life improvements that Rockstar has proven that they're not only capable but willing to do for certain games. So I think they really should consider doing them for this game. But that's really all I have to say today. So as usual, I'll now invite you to do all the things that as a YouTuber I kind of need you to do if I want my channel to grow at all. And that's, if you like the video, to leave a like rating on it. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, anything like that, things that you think I missed, things that you maybe disagree with me about, anything like that, definitely leave those down in the comment section so we can have a discussion about that. And lastly, if you like this content or any of my other content, subscribe to the channel because I release content like this all the time, and that's kind of what subscriptions are for. If you like the content, you subscribe and you watch more of it. It's a very, very simple Faustian transaction. So with all that in mind, thanks for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.